Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to another Supreme Commander epic. Well, you seem to enjoy the last one so much, so I thought you've all been well behaved. You deserve another. Incidentally, regarding last week's cast, thank you so much for all the congratulatory messages in the comments section as pertaining to the 50k threshold. But I'm not here to dwell on the past. Let's talk about the future. And with that in mind, it's going to be custom 4v4 action. I was tempted to label it an average Joe's, but we've got a couple of high-level pro ringers thrown in there, one on each team for good measure. So it's more like a pro-am, really. First of all, though, some news coming in from Rowie, all very important as usual. He wants to let you know that Jit will be pushing the next game patch this Sunday, the 21st, i.e. last Sunday, because as you can tell, I was a little bit slow getting this out to you, with more improvements to performance features and much more. So if you want to check out patch notes, do check out on the forums. Probably be a good place to search for those. The promotion team is also looking for some people to help with collecting items for the weekly news in the clients. If you've got any ideas, do get in contact with Rowie on Discord or indeed via FAF. And FAF YouTube is also continuing to upload casts from recent tournaments that were shown on FAF Live Twitch channel. And that's a great place to head on over, guys. If you want live content, do check out the FAF Live Twitch channel. Just literally type that into Twitch. I'm sure you'll find it. And the promo team would like to know what else you would like from them in terms of promotion, either internally or externally. And then they've got a little link here, which I've clicked on, and it doesn't go anywhere, so I don't really know what that's about. But again, any questions, just suggest them. Fire them off at Rowie. He loves lots of people contacting him at all times of day. That's his thing. And a little bit of information here he's added. Some UI changes have been adjusted or added so that you can now find out the reclaim done by individual engineers, not ACUs or SACUs. SACUs, yeah, I'll get that right. But yeah, it's like a little bit of extra information for the civilian branch of the administration. We get to see what kills a military unit has had. So it's like, oh, well done, Steve. You've reclaimed lots of mass today. Congratulations. Anyway, there we have it. On to today's game. As we said, it's going to be an epic. It's going to be custom 4v4. It's going down on Lena River, which I believe is a brand new map for Guilecast. Not 100% sure, but I don't really recognize it. We'll go into that in just a second. I'm ready. You guys are ready, and our players are sure as hell ready. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how they're going to get on. Ching. Ka-ching. No instant loading for you. You must have done something wrong in a previous life. We'll call this Team 1 up here at the top and this Team 2 down here at the bottom. Going first for Team 1. Rearguard air position and fresh out of the closet. It's Let Me Be Me. He's going Cybrin, and what's he going to go? He's going to go first air. Sensible decision right there. Team member number 2 also going red. This time it's Burgundy, and this time on the front line it's Chaos Spire. He's going Aeon, opening first land. Up here on a sort of plateau-y bit in Halliburton Orange, it's Broby, another Cybrin. He's going first land this time. And last but not least, way out west, it's Bramel, also going Cybrin in Mellow Yellow, opening first land. Let's check out Team 2 now. Down here at the bottom in Baby Blue, rearguard air position, going Cybrin. There's a theme here. He's going first land, it's Buttons. Team member number 2, another blue, this time on the front line, another Cybrin, it's Sixolin. He's going first land in electric blue. Down here sporting this season's fabulous Vivacious Violet, it's Yugo Shatenshi, or Yugo Shatenshi. We'll call him Yugo for obvious reasons today. And he is going Seraphim, opening first land. And last but not least, down here on the coastline in Cyanide Cyan, going UEF. Hooray! It's Will-O-Wisp. There he is, and he is opening first land. So there we have it. Racial differences. Team 1 is 3 Cybrin and an Aeon. Team 2 is 2 Cybrin, an Aeon, 2 Cybrin, a UEF, and a Seraphim. So all races represented, if not on each team. Game quality at 100%. So this is a team balanced game. Good stuff there, and you can see it's all kind of middle of the road Joe-like behavior until you get to Bramel, which is the western flank over here for Team 1, and until you get to Will-O-Wisp, which is the eastern flank down here for Team 2. Both of those guys up over 1700, Will-O-Wisp at 1771, Bramel at 1706. They are facing off against, so Bramel's facing off against Sixolin, which is an 871. That's as Joe as it comes in this game. He's the lowest rated player. And Will-O-Wisp is facing off potentially against Chaos Spire, over here, who is 1096. Broby is the slightly weaker link over here, up here on the plateau. That's probably where you want your Joe to be sitting, maybe not on the front line. So Team 2 might be at a bit of a disadvantage here, but as we've said so many times before, global ranking doesn't mean a whole lot, generally speaking, in these games. Let's check out the reclaim distribution. Well, we've got some decent chunky rockage kicking around on the central islands. You can see just dotted along the cliff edges there. Some 113s, a few 138s, 175. Goodness me. Look at the size of your boulder, madam. Exciting stuff. What else have we got on the other ones? Any large chunky bits? It's kind of generally the story. Large boulderage on here. Not a lot of reclaim in terms of minor rocks, but lots of trees surrounding those boulders. On the main land masses, we've got 75s kicking around here, so reasonably substantial, but no large fields of stony shingle, which often provide some of the most lucrative forms of reclaim, but not to be in this one. Doesn't seem like it. In terms of racial distribution, will the fact that we've got one floaty, naughty on each team be significant? We've got an Aeon for Chaos Spire over here, who's already got a naval yard in place. And what have we got over here? We've got Yugo Shitenshi, who's actually further up, unlikely to be pumping out huge quantities of Zuis, as he will probably be more focused on airplay. You can see he's got an air factory up and running, busy building T1P gens around it, and currently spitting out interceptors as we speak. What have we got here? Saucy little skyhook out from Bramel, who's busy, I presume, getting engineers onto the ground on these central islands along here and going after that mass. No doubt he is going to put one down here onto the opponent's main landmass, right on the edge of almost a new section of core mass there. It looks like another starting location, potentially, perhaps on an adaptive version of this map. That might be just that. We've also got another inbound transport going the other way from Will-O-Wisp, who's being a lot less conservative. He's not faffing around, dropping engineers off with that dropship on the central islands. He has snuck across with one engineer, you can see down there, but he's dropped all 5 engineers straight off on the opponent's landmass and going straight for 2 factories. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Bramel getting a little bit cheeky and restless with a T1 bomber, which is inbound. Looks like it might be going after Button's position down here on the western flank. We have got a couple of vulnerable engineers and, of course, a few outlying mass extractors all down here currently upgrading. Do we have any reasonable air defense? We've got the odd interceptor kicking around for Team 2. How on the ball will they be, though? One scout plane over here belonging to Chaos Spire, just kind of generally scouting out the land for this T1 bomber of his teammates here, who's scooped up one engineer kill. Oh, what have we got here as well? Chaos Spire not wasting any time, bringing his commander out in this direction, knowing instinctively, of course, that someone, and probably would have been Willow, would have been trying something like this. I'm not sure if there's much meta on this map, having not seen it before. But, yeah, wasting no time, moving out, closing off this area. Even if he doesn't squash this little landing straight away, he can prevent any leakage going further into his team territory further north. What have we got over here? Have we got any movement from Buttons or Six Solon in a similar direction? Well, both of the ACUs currently still loitering in their main base. Nice air coverage over there, though. We do have slightly less of a commitment on the ground over here from Bramel than we have from Willow. Willow went in heavy with those 5 engineers. As we said, he's already got 5 land factories up and running. That's a lot of operational build capacity, and he is pumping out T1 spam like it's going out of fashion. Chaos Spire has 2 land factories up by his commander up and running. He was working on a 3rd, but he brought his commander forward to try and shoo those pesky UEF tanks away and give him some more room. He has got another engineer up back here as well, working on more land factories. Back in on over the western side of things. Mantis moving south out from Bramel's forward position, bagging themselves a mechs kill on the way. Next vulnerable mechs just a little bit further south near the western edge of the map. And still nothing really on the ground moving out to defend against this. They'll be well aware of the location of those units now. To give you an idea of what these players can see, that's Team 2's view. That's the view Will-O-Wisp is getting as he tries to break through and bust out of this little containing position that Chaos Spire has erected with his comm. That's going to be the end of those forward land factories. Always best not to hang about, and now he's trying to get aggressive against Chaos Spire's commander, who is a little bit out on his own over here. Hasn't really got much in the way of reinforcements, but he's pretty close to the sea, which it looks like he's heading for sensibly. He's down to around 6,000 HP. We've got the odd artillery shell landing down on top of his comm, which is taking its toll. Going to get into the water, might just dip into the red as he makes it. And perhaps going to dip in and out, taking pot shots as he goes. That would be the sensible decision. Indeed, he's going to. Will-O-Wisp not going to turn around and engage the commander. Instead, going to push further north, but still a lot of spam coming out of these factories down here. 6 factories online for Willow. And we've got some inbound Mantis from Bramall as well, but finally we have some defensive measures from Team 2 to defend against this, and it's come in the form of 4 Jesters from Buttons. We're going to see some anti-air units added to that build queue. Not yet, but possibly sometime in the future. There's not a huge commitment to this from Bramall. It seems to be all about slowing him up and running interference. But what have we got in terms of control for the islands? 2 middle islands under control for Will-O-Wisp. 1 for Sixollen, and then of course the other 3 in the hands of Team 1, 2 to Bramall, and the other one seemingly being shared currently between Chaos Spire and Let Me Be Me, although Let Me Be Me is the one holding on to all of the mass. Strikers moving up that eastern edge of the map for Willow. They're going to get themselves another mass point kill. Do we have any defenses on the way for Team 1? There's a group of Auroras just to the southeast, or east rather, which are coming in now. They're going to start taking pot shots at this formation, utilizing their extra range advantage. Definitely want to keep on the move though and invade that inbound Lobo fire. What is Let Me Be Me doing? Well, he's pulling his commander, giving his base some room. 3 T2P gens in that base already. Things accelerating nicely towards the mid-game. 10 minutes in now. We should probably say a little bit something about the wider stratagems going down, although there's another Skyhook inbound that was nearly shot down. It's going to offload its units though. Maybe. Oof, that was close. Gets its units on the ground. It's 5 Medusas. Are you going to get a volley out maybe against that mass extractor? No. And there's a whole load of Mantis lying in wait just to the west for Sixollen that moves straight in and shut that little attack down. So yes, the wider strategic outlook, what are we looking at in terms of sea power? We've got 4 naval yards for Sixollen. We've got 1, 2 for Will-O-Wisp. And I think that's it for Team 2. Team 1, we've got 3 for Bramall, 1 at Tech 2. We've got 2 over there for Chaos Spire. And then we've got 3 pretty aggressively placed over here for Let Me Be Me, already under pressure from Willow, who's got 2 subs and 2 frigates launching an assault on these shipyards. 1's gone down, the other 2 already damaged. And Willow's actually got his comm in residency on this island. He's just pulling that into the water now. We're going to start some reclaiming to finish off the last of these naval yards. There is the reclaim order. It is going to get off another engineer, but he won't worry about that. He's got units in place. Ooh, he had a point defense in place, nearly to gun that bad boy down. And that leaves just 1 naval yard remaining. Jesters that we saw earlier from Buttons have finished off that position for Bramall. And that might represent the end of the land presence from Team 1 on Team 2's main landmass. Indeed it does. There goes the final mechs. We have 2 T1 units. They're about to go down. Once again, Team 2 are in charge of all of their continent, if you will, if that's what we can call it. Large counter push happening on the other side of the map now as well, on the ground from Chaos Spire. We do have a T2 land factory headquarters. That represents a reasonable investment there from Willow. He'd love to hold on to that if he can. He already has one badly damaged mongoose out front, which gives him a tech advantage over what is otherwise tinfoil T1 spam from Chaos Spire. Also has a parashield gen, but in comes some T1 bombers as well, determined to finish off that Tech 2 unit, but another fresh one's just rolled out of that factory. Do we have any Tech 2 inbound on the ground? Not as yet. How long can Willow hold out here, and is it even wise to? That's the question. Let's take a look at Eco's side of things. So Bramall's on 121, Willow's on 158, so despite the fact that he's still tangled up in all of this business over here, right at the eastern edge of the screen, he's still managing to outdo his biggest threat on macro economy factors. What have we got here? He's not power locked. Let Me Be Me is actually just a little bit ahead of Bramall by a smidge. 130 versus 129, so Bramall not even leading the pack for his team. That has quite a sizable fleet of frigates over in the west, which is now pushing down towards Team 2. And he is spamming the hell out of those land factories, so he's not concerned as much with teching up his eco as he is with pumping out as many offensive T1 naval units as he can. Will he be able to shut out Team 2 out of the naval game? That's the question. It looks like it's heading in towards Sixollen's naval yards down here. Sixollen lying in wait with some of his own naval units. We've got a Salem class destroyer and a Barracuda. And he might be bringing those in now, bringing them to bear. Few Notha fighter bombers for Hugo, harassing those units. He can take down the Salem, or that Barracuda. He did have multiples. There's another one down there which he's not got involved in the combat. That could have free reign on the rest of those frigates. Checking back in over in the east. Another large Tech 1 counter push brewing from Chaos Spire. Is Willow still continuing to devote resources? Yes, he is. He's actually upgrading that T2 Land Factory HQ to Tech 3. That is surprising. That is a very significant investment. And it's only at about 1/3 done. He's now switching over to some more point defense construction. Definitely a sensible decision, because that's a lot of inbound garbage heading his way. And that's not favoritism towards Team 2. All Aeon units are garbage. Actually, that's 100% not true, but it is fun to say. Oh, forward triads not getting the chance to finish. So many Auroras in here. Willow ordering one big push out from further back to try and whittle this down, but we've got Tech 3 gunships inbound now from Broby going straight after those flak batteries. He is never going to get that land factory completed to Tech 3. That was an ambitious target, all with the intent of properly establishing this as a forward base and holding on to it, but unlikely to succeed now, I humbly suggest. One lone archer enters the fray down here, taking pot shots up at those T3 gunships. Going to take a long way to tickle their way through all that HP. Take a long time, rather long way. Words failing under such an inauspicious fight. Well, nice little assistance though, inbound from Hugo. Brings in some ASFs to join the battle. They're going to tangle with the defending interceptors from Broby. Broby seems to have an awful lot more of those ASFs. Most of this pack, or at least half of that pack from Hugo, were T1 aircraft. And there goes the land factory headquarters. Another T1 factory down here. Are they still producing units? They are currently, but that will represent the end of Willow's position on the headland down here. Alas, it was a valiant attempt. So in terms of team ecos, where are we? Team 2 ahead by some, where are we? About 15k, 14, 15k, something like that in terms of total mass. And they're ahead by just a few mass per tick. Well, they were a moment ago. Sudden massive fall off usually indicates some power locking going on. A bit of power stall. As the last few factories belonging to Willow get annihilated by this horde of T1 spam that fared a lot better than I thought it was going to. Thanks in no small part, of course, to that gunships. Apologies for my dog going nuts in the background. He hasn't been picked for the first 11 team in the local village. Can't understand why. He thinks they're being racialist against dogs. Might have a point. RAS upgrade at the back for Let Me Be Me. 70% done and climbing. And it's all cooling off just a little bit. Hands not changing on the island ownership on either side for the time being. We have lost one mechs down here. Was formerly under the control of Let Me, but that's just been picked off, no doubt, by one of these little flotillas belonging to Willow. Bulwark ship covering the tactical retreat of Willow's vessels. Solid number of frigates belonging to Chaos Spire just leading out in front of 3 Exodus class destroyers equipped with their own Asylum shield gens. And what looked like a very sizable fleet massing over here for Bramall. I mean, it's still pretty sizable, but it hasn't been the rolling over I thought we were about to see of a 1700 stomping, absolutely curb stomping an 800 down here. Instead, he hasn't managed to massively outproduce 6 Solon. Yes, he's got an advantage there, certainly. But the number of factories he's got belies his actual output. He's still racing to increase his macro economy. Whereas if you look over on Team 2, Buttons on 360, that's pretty high, and Willow on about 380. Might have something to do with it. Quite a lot of T2 vessels down here. Ugh, and a dirty, filthy Cybran mermaid lying to everybody about what's actually here. I'm wondering if that's playing a part at all in Brammel's cautionary play. Dun dun dun! Galaxy class battleship inbound from Brammel up at that top corner. Scary stuff if you're rooting for Team 2. We do have Tech 3 technology in the sea for Team 2. Will-O-Wisp down here working on a Neptune, I believe. Is that a Neptune? Or is that a Summit? I think that's a Neptune. Yeah, Neptune, but he's building 2 Neptunes by the looks of things, and then 5 Summit-class battleships after that if the queue doesn't change. Whalers moving out, batting down a basic T1 naval yard belonging to Willow before retreating to safer territory, all under the control on this headland now of Chaos Spire, his teammate. Having a look at what they're chatting about down here. Lots of expletives, I shan't repeat. Red Helpo. Yellow got T3. Yes, he does. Where is that battleship? Well, it's joining that fleet now. Is that going to be the catalyst that sparks the next attack? Or is he just going to sit off this island and pummel it a little bit? Shields not fully upgraded, but there are a couple of them. Nice little TAC missile launcher over here, and a Gunther as well to boot. Is there just one? No, couple of Gunthers under there. No, it's just one. That was the top of a radar that was masquerading as something more frightening. More shield gens are started, but they're going to struggle to get completed with that inbound fire being what it is. And now finally we have some motion on that fleet from Brammel. Is it going to be brought to bear in conjunction with Chaos Spire's units against Willow, who has set up shop right in the center here with a lot of naval yards? 3 T1, 3 T2, and now he's got a Neptune battle cruiser underneath that shield coverage. This could be the next naval front we see opening up right in the center of the map. Looks like both teams might be up for it. Willow sending mixed signals there, advancing with his thunderheads and backing up with everything else. But that little island base belonging to 6 Solon looks like it's about to get pummeled out of existence. Inbound fire from Salem's and that Galaxy. Too much for the shields to bear, especially with the presence of a whaler on top of it. Shield collapses. One of the 2 Gunthers dealt with. There goes the second one, surely, or everything around it instead of that. There it goes. And that will be the end of that little island base. But on the other side of things, long-range missiles inbound from cruiser fire belonging to Willow, taking care of that island on the other side of things, formerly under the control of Chaos Spire and Let Me. Let's have a look at fighter numbers, because you would have thought on a map like this it could be crucial. So I think that's 83 for Broby. Buttons seems to have the highest number, or it's Buttons and it's Yugo. So Buttons has 51, Yugo has 32, so combined it's similar numbers. Do we have anyone else pumping out air? We do have a few ASFs from Let Me. You would have thought he was handling most of the air, but I'm wondering if he's gifting them over. No, it's kind of a dual air effort. Obviously we've seen those whalers out from Broby. Lots and lots of air factories and P-gens under construction on that plateau. Broby not playing like a 960, playing like a bit of a boss, but a major engagement kicking off in the center now as the air forces and naval forces all merge from both teams. Hard to tell who's going to win the air battle, but the naval battle seems like it might be an easier read. Willow backing up away with his Neptunes, but Sixollen has been broadly crushed over here, and the combined T1 naval spam of Bramall and Chaos Spire pushing on through towards the naval yards down here of Sixollen. Lots and lots of cormorants circling overhead though. Will they be able to take the edge off this attack before it gets there? The shield coverage for Willow's fleet has collapsed, but it's all lower order units. We do have some Barracuda subs kicking around, but this is a naval attack on multiple fronts from Team 1 that has made its way all the way now to the naval yards of Sixollen, who's surely going to lose a few of these factories. Lots of them taking damage. Battleships will soon be in range. There was a line of SAMs that belonged to Buttons that sort of rocked up in this direction that was providing some extra air coverage. They've all been destroyed. But air power seems to be sitting with an advantage towards Team 2, although there's more ASFs coming in all the time. I'm wondering if the sheer number of factories that Broby has built and is continuing to build is going to overwhelm Team 2. They're going to struggle to keep up with it. That sheer number, that sheer inflow of units. That outreaching arm of naval yards for Sixollen have all been destroyed. This is not looking good for Team 2 and its Navy. Engineers in the Bay Area here trying to get a harms up and running. At the moment, all of the frigates are focusing down the naval yards and the T2 vessels in the vicinity. Engineers on the beach hurriedly trying to work on torpedo launchers just in the surf there. And there goes the T2 naval HQ for Sixollen. All the engineers working on the harms have been destroyed. We've got one support commander under the waves here, currently working on it. Another air battle kicks off slightly further north. Button's doing everything he can to stay on top of the air situation. What's happening over in the east? That's not a great picture for Team 2 either. Willow, has he lost his battle cruisers? Possibly. I'm not sure whose wrecks are whose, but I'm not seeing the battle cruisers. This forward set of naval yards now considerably under threat. No inbound reinforcements to speak of. And Sixollen starting laser. That's usually a terrible sign. 30 minutes in, having lost his naval yards, it's like, well, see you later. That's where I'm going now. I'll see you guys on the other side of Silicon Hell or Heaven, or wherever it is Cyberans pretend they go when they die. But this has been a pretty solid batting collapse from Team 2 on the naval side of things. They held up well initially in the air conflict, but I don't know if they're going to be able to outpace Broby the way he's working on new yards. Question is, he's probably pretty heavily maxed out on mass production for the time being as well. Still, he continues to build P-gens and air factories though. Nice little collection of Volthu gunships out from Hugo, working on some inbound engineers from Chaos Spire, who are being a little bit cheeky to say the least, coming to try and reclaim some of these naval yards. And now another one of these islands for Team 2 under threat. An island that has a T3 Land Factory HQ that was pumping out Percivals. That is probably going to be the last stand for Team 2 in the island in the center for Willow. And now the naval yards of Buttons, of which there were a lot of them. There were a lot of T1 naval yards stacked up against this coastline here. They're just getting obliterated by a combination of all of these Trident-class frigates from Bramall and these Barracudas. The laser has been completed. He doesn't have the teleporter upgrade as yet, and he's not started work on it. We'll see if I can keep an eye on that, although I'm of course famous for missing those tele-snipes. Famous for missing a lot of things, if I'm honest. It's why you're here, to hear me get upset about my ineptitudes, keeping track of things. Large numbers of Salems heading south. Now this is looking really bad for Team 2 right now. They're ever so slightly behind in mass production by about 100 mass per tick. They're still ahead in terms of total mass accrued. Of course, that will be eaten into over time. But they have completely lost the initiative in the river, so to speak. And now we're going to have an amassing of ranged naval vessels along this coastline, just making life an absolute misery. Although, interestingly enough, Bramall has pulled away, moved up the coast obviously to take care of this mass of T1 naval yards that belong to Buttons, is now moving back slightly to give these Barracudas some space. And in that intervening period and the space that's been gleaned from that maneuver, we have Sixolon working on some more naval yards. Is this why we're not yet seeing the... No. The timing of that! That's amazing. No, there it goes. It's like, there's still hope for Sixolon. Don't do it. You've got more naval yards. No! I'm not playing anymore. The comedy that writes itself. A couple of heroic Summit-class battleships in the Bay Area for Willow. Standing to the last. I mean, let's face it. It's not like they can go anywhere. If only they could sprout legs. Oof. Inbound skimmer torpedo bombers. Are they going after the vessels or the naval yard? Looks like it's the naval yard. Indeed it is. That's gone down to about 2/3 health. There is some measure of anti-air defense, so they're not going to get a second pass. I do actually quite like this. He's pulled away the vulnerable naval units, Bramall, from that wolf pack of submarines, and instead pumped out a whole load of Cormorant torpedo bombers to be as efficient as possible and engage those. Speaking of efficiency, what do the kill-loss ratios look like? Well, they look pretty good if you're rooting for Team 1. They're all up over 1. Chaos Spire at 1.6, Bramall at 1.4, the other two at 1.2, and only Willow is positive kill-loss ratio at 1.07 for Team 2. Everybody else negative, and Sixolon has taken a battering. He's at 0.6. That has completed. Teleporter done. Sixolon questioning his teammates. Should he go for orange? Let's have a look. Tech 3 upgrade on the way for Broby. He is routed to the spot. No Tech 1 point defense around his commander as yet. Sixolon, I need vision on his comm. What was the answer from that? None, unless the others are on comms and he's only listening. He upgraded something, or upgraded something. Indeed he did, but that is now completed. T3 is done for Broby. Gets straight to work on some T3 shield coverage. Oh, look at that. Like clockwork. Were they talking about it on comms, I wonder? As soon as that's completed, he's going to get to work on a whole load of T1 point defense to cover his commander. And the teleportation is activated. He's going for air. Does that mean orange? Yes, it does. Right by the commander. That's pretty good timing. He won't even have started work, I don't think, on the T1 PDs, or if he has, he won't have many up and running. There goes the shield. One complete. And there's the teleport activation, and there goes Broby. Boom, baby! Our first ejection. 36 minutes and 56 seconds. We'll wait for the nuclear fire to clear. In fact, while we're waiting for that, let's just go to split screen so we can keep an eye on the headland down here. There's an awful lot of destruction going down. Bramall with his fleet just tearing into units up here. But Six Solon not teleporting straight out. Of course, full share is on. No option for it in team games. Six Solon going to go on a rampage.
Strategic launch detected.
And kill off as much of that base as he can. We have a nuke out from where? It's out of a super nuke launcher. Willow creates a Yelena Os. Where is that going? My goodness, this game heated up. Maybe this is why his production fell off so acutely. Will he be able to hold on to it, though, with this mass of vessels coming south from Team 1? Is he going to get shot down? Quite possibly. There's 4 anti-nukes in this silo for Let Me Be Me. But it does house 2 comms, that base. But look at this. Six Solon still tearing it up with his commander. Where's the gunships? I suppose the only person who would have pumped out gunships quickly has been Broby, and his base is gone, as is he. The nuke, we missed it getting shot down, but we knew it was going to. You can see there's 2 anti-nukes left in that silo now instead of the 4 we checked in on just a moment. God, there's so much going on. I want to try and capture as much as I can. The next nuke is ready. Where is it going? Is he going to try that base again? That will get shot down too if he plunks it in the same place.
Strategic launch detected.
Buttons has completed teleporter. He's now starting laser. What the hell is going on? Have we got a teleport out? Yes, we do. Six Solon is teleporting out. Where is he going? He's going over here. He's trying to take out the mass fab farm, but he's in range of Cerberus turrets down here. He's got about 6,000 hit points left on that commander, but there's strap bombers lying in wait. See you later, alligator. Bramall takes care of him at 39 minutes, almost on the nose. Where's that super nuke going? It's going inbound to this base once again. A wave of spy planes flies overhead from Buttons, who, as we know, is working on that final upgrade for a tele-snipe of his own. The 2 anti-nukes launch. What's gone off? We don't know, but the base is gone along with the Yelena Os. No more Seraphim super nukes will be launched out of Willow's base. Where is Willow? His comm is there. He is moving out. Where is... I'm trying to keep count. I'm going to slow it up because I don't want to miss this. There he is. Buttons down there. He has both the laser and the teleporter on board that comm. Goodness me, this escalated quickly. It was just a reasonably slow-paced naval game up until about 2 minutes ago, maybe a little bit more. And then all hell broke loose. Quite literally. Got units marching down the headland from Bramall, who has a beachhead, or I suppose a cliff head if you wanted to be technical about things, established up there at the top of that headland. Gunships from Yugo doing their best to contend with the naughty walkie that's moving inland from Let Me. Bosh, down they go. Nice defensive play. Teleporter for Willow, who, of course, is UEF and doesn't have the option to build a microwave laser. Well, there are, of course, other options that he could go with other than that. Button's still in his base with his comm, working on that megalith. which is about to complete. He's going to teleport at some point. I just don't want to miss it. 40 minutes in. Buttons tangling with Let Me and Brammel's Air over here. Don't think he's got enough ASFs to win that encounter. Still no teleport exit. I have to try and keep an eye on the chat for any clues about what might be going down on that front. But another massive attack naval-wise from Team 1, who are tearing up this newly constructed naval base. It did belong to Six Solon, but of course it's all been transferred over to Willow with his demise. But check it out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Omen class battleships here for Chaos Spire. That's so much naval power. Yes, we've got a couple of battleships back here and 4 harms. We also have these useful little breakers here, fire breaks if you will, from these asylum shield walls. Oh, but we've got a teleport underway from Buttons. Where's he going? He's going straight up here. He's going after Brammel. Where's Brammel's comm? He's not at that location. Button's going to be able to tear up some of his base, but he's right in the middle of a little cross-section of Cerberus turrets, and he goes down, having taken down a couple of factories and a couple of P-gens. So again, no success on that latest teleport. Willow, did he complete? Oh my god, now he's teleporting. A much more energetic animation for the UEF teleport. Where's he going? He's not going in there. Main base. I'm just trying to look for an exit gate. There he is. Ooh. Saucy play from Willow. Gets straight in there, works on a scatter shield stealth gen. That is all that Team 2 can see from their perspective. That's perfect placement right in the shadow, just outside the field of view from these mass fabs down here. Goodness me. If you zoom in close and you pay attention, they might see these little decals going down, or decals, sorry, not decals. Naughty Guile. He will be ostracized from the gaming community for such slurs. But he's getting straight to work on TAC missile batteries, and those are in range of 2 comms down here, Chaos Spire and Let Me Be Me. Broby obviously has already died. The commander for Brammel, though, is down here underwater. He'll be safe. His base could take a hit, but the chances of him actually being able to pull this off, usually something like this gets discovered. So we'll keep an eye on it, but I won't hold my breath. Of course, the moment he gets discovered, we'll probably see some strap bombs from Brammel. We saw some earlier. I imagine he's got some kicking around still. Yeah, there we go. 3 strap bombers. As soon as Willow pops, that is dangerous. But I love it, though. I love the audaciousness. None of this teleport into your base with a big chest laser business. No, this is how manly UEF people do it. They go into the shadows and then pick at you with range from missiles. It's arguably a lot less manly. But still, there's a lot of preparation needed involved here to make this work. Oh, we've got Mercies kicking around here as well. That will ruin your day real fast. He hasn't got any flak in place yet. Most of these TAC missile launchers have TAC missiles in them, at least 1 or 2 TAC missiles in them. These 2, the last ones, but gosh, he's building more. What is that? 6, 12, 14. This will be number 15. That's a lot of TAC missiles. These comms are roaming around at the moment. Let Me Be Me working on a Scathis. Chaos Spire sensibly moving over here towards the auto guns, although of course shouldn't be expecting a tele-snipe considering the last Cybran on Team 2 just got whacked. Willow whilst busy upstairs on the other side of the map. Doing a pretty good job over here. But attack missiles have been launched. I've just used the mini-map to keep an eye on that. They are inbound towards Let Me Be Me's base. Can they break through the shield and pick off the comm? Looks like they're going for multiple targets, hitting multiple shields. This might get the commander if he doesn't spot it. Boom, baby! Lovely pick off there from Will-O-Wisp. He's going to need to get out of there straight away, and indeed he is. Where's he going now? Oh, he's doing it again. Over here, straight for a stealth gen. Straight into the blind spots of Team 1. Chaos Spire quick to stay on the move. And of course, he can still carry on to harass this base and inflict more damage. Lovely, lovely play. The strats are on it, though, and going straight after this base. Down they go. Another volley out. Oh, they built a Paragon. I didn't even see that. There's been too much going on in this game, but they're not going to get to keep it. Bosh! Wow. That's got to hurt. I'm only seeing one kicking around in there, and usually the first order of business when you get a Paragon is to build a second one, so that must have not been around for very long before it got smashed. Willow dishing out the pain right here. This time he hasn't gone straight for TAC missiles, instead he's gone straight for Kennel engineering drones. So going for a bit of variety here in terms of play, which is always nice to see. Is it going to be as effective, though? He gets straight to work on an air factory. He's going to upgrade to Tech 2. He's already queued up torpedo bombers because he's already scouted, obviously, this commander. Bramble down here, working on a stealth upgrade, though. That's going to complete. Not much in his base anymore. Everything is heading south. They're trying to squash Team 2 before any more damage is inflicted. And you know what? They're probably going to do it. Sixolan's old base comfortably in range of these battleships. That's all going to get obliterated, no question. One hero megalith standing on the beach just trying to take pot shots at these battleships. To be honest, it's doing pretty well. All these battleships should alpha strike that megalith out of existence to get rid of him before he gets picked apart. Another nuke, this time. Where is it from and where's it going? It's not out from Team 2, I don't think. Where is that? There's so much yellow on the map. It's confusing my senses. Yeah, inbound out of Team 1's fleet, going straight into the backfield to kill off Buttons' old base, and that's going to get rid of pretty much everything of importance in there. Will-O-Wisp tactical nuke done. So he's spitting out torpedo bombers, and he's built a Billy nuke on his commander. This is fascinating stuff. I'm getting a little bit excited. If this works, it will be the play of the 2020s so far. Considering that constitutes nearly 2 to 3 years worth of replays, that's a pretty big call. But wow. Careful, you don't want to oust yourself. Now he's working on a T3 air upgrade, presumably maybe to spit out cormorants faster. Oh, sorry, stalks cormorants. There goes a Billy nuke. He's launching it off towards the commander. Are there zappers inbound? That's the question. He doesn't want to kill off his own torpedo bombers, though, which he's probably going to do. Indeed he does, but it doesn't matter. Combination does it. The tactical nuke gets him, and Bramble goes out, and it is now Chaos Spire all by his lonesome. But a Scathis has been completed somewhere. It was in the main base of Bramble. That's what he was working on. Apologies, we can't cover all this, but there's so much going on. Willow is on the move in a Continental, which he just pumped out of that T3 air factory, and he is inbound towards Chaos Bar. You can see the pings, but look at the map. Look at the amount of burgundy on the map. Team 2 entirely painted into a corner. Hugo working on a teleporter. He's lost his base thanks to that Scathis. But the Continental inbound. I can't believe how vulnerable these comms have been. He's on the ground. Can he get something done? Remember, he's got the Billy Nuke. Needs to get the Continental out the way. He does it. He's launched. How good is his trajectory? It's pretty damn good. Boom, baby! What? What the actual? They were done. Look how done they were. Send this to Guile. Yeah, a little bit. They were done. They were completely... They were ousted from every square inch of river. The islands had fallen 20 minutes ago. We had land factories on both sides, pumping out units that were... It was game. My God, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, it's not even worth talking about who's going to be MVP. You know who's MVP. Willow, I commend you, sir. Wonderful play. Yes, it was a 1700 versus a whole bunch of Joes, but Bro wasn't a Joe. He took care of him. That was incredible. The most exciting play I've seen for a hell of a long time. That's what I want to see more of. If you start doing stuff like that, guys, especially if it's successful, you will get your replay casted. More of that, please. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. As always, more to come from me in the future. Do feel free to follow me on social media. Guile_cast on Twitter. Every now and again, I'll give you a spicy meme. And of course, just check out Guile on Facebook. I don't do Instagram. The kids and their disco music, it's all too young for me. But wow, hope you enjoyed it, guys. There's always more to come from me in the future. Do check out the Patreon if you want more content. There'll be another cast going out there this week. We've got 60-something casts on there so far. More going up all the time. But until next time, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, going to have a lie down.